We've come up with our our next generation irrigation kit, which is a complete system. And I'll show you inside. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see inside here, but there's a couple features you can see. That white is the float valve, and that float valve hooks to your garden hose on the outside. So you just hook up your garden hose, leave it permanently connected, have it on a low flow volume, and that float valve keeps the correct amount of water in this bin without you having to worry about that.
Automatically refills my water basin as the water runs down. Why is that important? That is important because if you have to go on vacation or you're going somewhere for a week or two and could be warm, 80s, 90s out, and you need to water this thing every day, you need to know, rest assured, that it's going to keep watering. You're going to have your irrigation on a timer, and you're going to have a float valve, and it's going to automatically refill your basin for you.
The other feature in here is the pump. We've selected a DC brushless motor. This is a 12-volt motor. We're currently running it with a AC to DC transformer that you just plug into the wall. But this can also be powered by solar, which is a pretty cool feature, so you don't actually even have to plug it in when it's out in the yard.
Inside the water basin is a pump. This pump has been specifically sourced for outdoor use, but also it has been sourced for its ability to, if the water level goes down below the pump, or if it gets clogged or something happens, it has an automatic turn-off valve. It automatically turns off. That is actually very important. This is a great example of how we identify where the fill points are and then we fix it. So that was a fill point. The water would go down. You forgot to refill it. Maybe you didn't have a float valve, and the water would go down and the pump would dry out, right? And so that was really an important thing to do. That's part of the quality of the product you're getting.
And then what you see coming out of the top here really is just the water distribution system. A couple features to show you real quick. This is an inline filter, so if there's any debris in the bin, this gets out the heavy materials.
But this is an inline filter. We're looking for fail points. So clogging in the system that could happen. So we've got an inline filter, so it's super easy to get to, and you just unscrew it. And you go, okay, wow, the water level is not flowing so fast on the irrigators right now, on the emitters. What's going on? Well, let me check my inline filter. And you unscrew it, and then you bring this out like this, and I go, oh, now if it was clogged, this would be really dirty. But this is great. This is a great example. Like, this is what it needs to look like. There's no debris in there. But these are some of the little tricks that you do that are just easy. Again, you can then I just screw it back, and it's back together.
This flows to the this manifold. So this is a water distribution manifold. It has 6 outlets. So the water then goes into these emitter systems. Each emitter line has a valve, so you can shut off each one individually if you don't have plants in a particular location.
This is our irrigation system, okay? And because it can be 2 sides, which is 36 total plants, that's a lot of plants. That's a lot of food you're growing. One side is 18. But when we ship it to you, we give you the irrigation for 2 sides. There is a valve here. It's a shut-off valve. You can turn it on and off. And so obviously, if you're just growing on one side, you have this off. But why this is so important, it's very, very common when someone starts growing food with us, they learn, they get comfortable, their confidence gets up, they're like, wow, I want to grow more. And so they upgrade to the backside. But it's ready to go. It's completely dialed to go. They don't have to do anything else.
And then the other cool feature that I think is important to know about, they're called flag emitters. And the purpose of the flag emitters is so that you can actually open the end, let water flow out, and clean any debris that's inside. So these will pretty much last forever. If there's any blockage or it's not flowing the way it has in the past, it's really easy just to open them up. You turn on the pump, it pushes any debris out, and then you just push it back, and it's back to the way it was before.
These are flag emitters. And this is another example of us working through the details. We used to have a different kind of irrigation system, and over time it would clog. And you'd be like, it stopped working. The person would have to completely replace their irrigation. And because it would kind of clog up in the emitters. And, I don't want to get too technical. I actually have a software background, so I get a little technical sometimes. But one of the reasons why, because you've got a pump that's got to pump water up. It's going up a tube. So it needs to be a force, but you don't want it to flow out of the top line so fast. Now, we talked about this a little bit in our training this week, which is to say that when your soil, you don't want to overwhelm the soil. You want to water slowly, and you want it to absorb, right? That's really important in the watering, because so that all the water is absorbed, the coconut coir that's in there, the biochar, all that, it's absorbing the water and it's holding it. If you're just flushing it really fast, it's not going to do that. And so that's really important that we can control the drip. And that is why you need this. Now, this is called a flag emitter because it's self-cleaning. I can, if I feel like, oh gosh, the drip line is really slow, it's not dripping like in a constant drip like it normally does, I can go in here and I can take it out and clear the line, okay? Like clear it out, and then I put it back in here. This is just a clip, and this helps align it to the hex pot, so that another fail point that used to happen is, you know, I don't know, someone's looking at something and they hit the line, and the line goes outside of the pot where it's watering, and they wouldn't know, right? And they walk around, they come back, they're like, why is that entire column of plants totally dry and everything else is happy? And they go, oh wow, the line got mixed, you know, got knocked off. So this clip keeps it in place. Okay.
Now, what I really like about this is that we've made it super easy to put into your, or to install into your system. So I'll show you here real quick, if we can get the photo of this. This is going to come in a box completely assembled. All you do is put it on the bottom rack. You position the hoses here, and you just snap them in to these grip clips. I'm done. All I need to do is put a hose on it and plug it in the wall, and that is ready to start watering your plants.
Okay, Kevin, quick question for you. How do you automate? One of the cool features about this is that it really eliminates a lot of the time that goes into watering and taking care of plants. And how can you, what are the automated features of this wall?
Well, first of all, this can simply be put into a Wi-Fi timer. We actually sell the accessory. We have a selected timer that we chose specifically for outdoor use that can connect directly to your Wi-Fi. So you can set up a watering schedule that is completely customizable depending on what you need. What you'll realize though is that you don't actually need to water for very long. Depending on the time of year, you might be watering for 20 minutes, 3 days a week, maybe 20 minutes every day of the week, but you don't really water much more than that. So having a timer that goes on and off is super cool. There is a very simple way just to put this on a Wi-Fi timer, so it goes on and off automatically. So between the Wi-Fi timer and the float valve, right, it makes it pretty easy to let this thing take care of itself once it's set up and running.